So what is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And boy, the EPA staff, the employees, they're not happy right now. And could we see a complete EPA shutdown? Maybe. So what is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And this is absolutely crazy. Now, we already saw the lockout of the offices, the revoking of computer access to a majority of these EPA employees. We saw the almost 1,000 that took the buyout that were enforcement agents. And now several thousand more are potentially out of a job. It's looking more and more like the EPA is going to become part of the Department of Education. What I mean by that is not exist. They about to be, see ya. We'll catch you on the next one. What does that mean? Well, it is one cog in a complete removal of unnecessary regulations. Now, there's other, I already know what the comments are going to be. You want dirty air and unclean water, and you want chemicals in rivers. And listen, I grew up in Boston. The Boston Harbor used to have like floating shit on top of the water. And I can remember sailing out there as a kid and worried as the keel was cutting into the water and we're leaning into the wind that we were going to fall in that shit. So, no, I don't want that. But there's common sense, and there's other ways to, like the Department of Justice could do that, right? Go after companies that are doing pumping chemicals and, solid waste into waterways and stuff of that nature. Not this massive bureaucracy that becomes politicized and is used to literally just damage business and destroy the economy. The minute the EPA is folded up and, don't get it twisted, they're going after stuff at NHTSA too. Not the safety part, because I know someone's going to be, well, you don't want safe cars, TK. Because that's the first thing that I've seen when I talked about the DOT revisiting the 25-year rule on JDM stuff and imported vehicles. And that wasn't ever done for safety reasons. So, it was done so that the automakers here didn't lose money. Because I'm telling you right now, if I could go just import right now a Toyota Hilux diesel, I'd daily drive that sucker. And I'd put 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 miles on it and never have to worry about a damn thing. The automakers here in the United States didn't want that. The DOT is like unnecessary regulation. The EPA administrator, Lee Zeldin, is now looking at this stuff and going, this entire agency is not completely necessary. The Department of Justice could take up the enforcement actions of some of the stuff that the EPA needs to do. Because here's the newsflash, right? Before, well, no, they can't do. Guess who takes up when there's a case that's brought? The EPA isn't taking you to federal court. A federal prosecutor is taking you to court. From where? Say it with me. Come on. The Department of Justice. The EPA is just an unnecessary cog that costs the government untold millions of dollars of money that doesn't need to be spent. And with it gone, it literally cuts the chains, frees the reins for auto manufacturers here in the United States. Like, can you imagine a time, and it would be, 18 to 24 months from now, but could you imagine a time of going to a car dealership, say Ford, GM, I don't know about Stellantis, they're not looking great right now, but you could go to a Ford dealership and get a reasonable priced F-150 that's going to be crazy reliable, because there's not all of this unnecessary BS that's built onto these things for emission controls for political reasons. I can't wait for it. I could go to a Chevy dealership and go buy a Duramax, and I don't have to worry about the engine grenading in 50,000 miles because there's all this unnecessary emissions crap. DEF, DPF filters, EGR, all this crap. I can't wait for it. I hope they shut the EPA down. Now, there's some other stuff, and I've talked about it in other videos, with Supreme Court decisions that could come down the line here in the next 30 to 60 days that could completely dismantle California's ability to set emission standards. Right now, because of what the Obama administration did, California basically sets the emission standards for everybody, all 50 states. It's unconstitutional. And I think it's going to be probably a 5-4 decision, right? But I think we're going to see a Supreme Court decision that hands down, that strips California from being able to do that. Between that and the EPA possibly being completely shut down, I think it frees the reins. There's no excuses from auto manufacturers at that point. Yeah, there'll be some that still make electric vehicles because they want to look like the good guy, right? But I think a majority of people, companies are going to start building stuff that people want again. And I'm excited for it. I've actually got like 6 emails from people like crying in emails to me that work at the EPA. We're just civil servants and we really just want to protect the clean air and water. And I'm like, cool. And I asked basic questions. Now, some people, like, I didn't get a response. Some did give me a response. And they said, yes, we did have people at the agency that did, like activism through the EPA, right? And I responded to them and said, well, don't you think that's why it's getting shut down? We're wasting taxpayers' dollars on BS. You're going after somebody because they made a YouTube video on how to delete something. Stupid. And now, because of their activism, think about this, because of their crazy activism and pushing their political beliefs into environmental stuff, now the whole agency's dead. Think about that. They literally opened it up for the court to reverse the Chevron decision because they wanted to be dumb. And now the whole agency could be gone. See ya. Just like the Department of Education. I don't know. Is anybody else tired of winning yet? Because I'm not. 100% not. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Do you think the EPA needs to completely disappear? Or do you think it will exist, but in a much smaller capacity which it was originally put out for, which is to, look at companies that are dumping solid waste into, streams and rivers and stuff and not going after the local mechanic that deleted an EGR valve? What do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Check engine light. And as always, stay petty, my friends.